a lot of why the Celtics lost, I think, goes to their reserves. And the point I want to hit on is that the Celtics reserves suck. They suck. A lot of them were good in previous series. Derek White was great at the start of the series, and he was great during the playoffs. Turned into a primetime shooter, something that you don't usually get out of Derek White. And he was a great defender as well. At times, I liked him better than Marcus Smart because Smart and consistent on the offensive end. I was like, okay, Derek White, though, when he pulls up from three, he's going to hit it. And then these last two games, Game 5 and Game 6, Derek White gave up. Derek White completely gave up. Dude sucked from three. Could not hit anything. You have air balls going left and right. Nothing there. Peyton Pritchard was absent the entire series. He's a guy. The only reason Peyton Pritchard is on the Boston Celtics is because he's a spot-up shooter, and he, performs greatly as a spot-up shooter at the point guard. Again, air balls everywhere, nothing. Grant Williams, a hustle guy, rebounder, defender, and has turned into a pretty good three-point shooter. He's shooting like 50% sometimes during the season. Like, he was shooting really well from three. Could he hit a three in the playoffs? No. Disappeared. Game 6. Disappeared. When the Celtics needed to turn up the most, they sucked. They sucked. And a lot of that was because of the reserves. I don't think I can name a single player on the Celtics bench that I could trust in that whole entire series. Because every single time one of them would come in, I'd want them to go straight back out. Because they'd come on the floor, play like crap, and I'd be like, okay, Ime, get them out. But obviously, we have to give Tatum a breather. You have to give Jalen a breather. You have to give Rob Will a breather. You got to give Big Al a breather, who was playing his heart out the whole entire series. You could see he wanted a championship desperately, but the players around him didn't have that same feeling. Smart was playing reckless in a bad way. Did not have a care in the world for what he was doing, and just shot recklessly, which is something he does anyways. But it hurts a lot in the NBA Finals. In the regular season, we can forgive that, but NBA Finals, not so much. Not so much, Marcus. Maybe pass it next time. And, even the players in the series that I think did really well, like Jaylen Brown, was consistent. And I think consistency is the key to this team. And for a very young team, consistency is hard to come by. And that's the problem ultimately with Jason Tatum, and why he can't win this, why he didn't win this series, and why I don't think he can win an NBA Finals yet, is that he doesn't have consistency. Jaylen Brown does. Game 1, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Game 2, he only played 28 minutes, but he had 17 points. 5 for 17, not as great shooting, but 3 for 9 from 3. Did his stuff on the rebound and defensive end. Game 3, 27 points, 9 for 16, 4 for 8 from 3, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Game 4, he had 21, 9 for 19. Game 5, 18, 5 for 18. Wasn't too good in that one. That was one of his slip-up games. And then, Game 6, the game where it all fell apart, he was really, him and Al were the two bright spots. Jalen has a drive, and you can see that he cares. Whereas Tatum, it seems like Tatum gives up a little too much. Tatum likes to view himself as a Kobe. He wants to be like Kobe. Well, if you want to be like Kobe, start trying a little more. When it doesn't, where it looks like the game's over, just keep going. Anyways, don't give up. Because Kobe didn't give up. When Kobe played on horrible teams, he didn't give up. He still played his heart out. Jason Tatum, you're playing on an NBA Finals team, and when you see the little dark spot in the game, he shuts down, gets inconsistent, starts airballing threes, doesn't get back on defense, starts taking take fouls, which is one of the most annoying things that he does. Which gets him in foul trouble, so he has to get subbed out. Stop doing the take fouls and just hustle back on defense. It's lazy. Would Kobe do that? No. I don't know where he gets some of the mentalities that he does that you can see on the floor. But it's it leads to inconsistency, it leads to frustration, and it leads to the rest of the team just falling flat on their face. So Tatum, and a lot of times, he brings the team up. He certainly does. But a lot of times brings them completely down. Game 1, in 42 minutes, he had 12 points, 3 for 17, and 1 for 5 from 3. Everybody praised him for his passing. Oh, when he didn't get it done shooting, he got it done passing. He found out he couldn't shoot, so he started passing. He had 13 assists. Wow, that's great. That's great for Jason Tatum, except he still took 17 shots. He was still shooting out there. He was still shooting. And it affects the team poorly if you only got 12 points. And you can't do that as a superstar in the NBA Finals. Again, he's 24. What he's doing right now for a 24-year-old, getting to the NBA Finals alone is an impressive feat. This team overachieved by a mile. But I'm just pointing out the flaws in Tatum's game that he needs to fix if he wants to be considered the upper echelon of the NBA. Because right now, I'm not ready to put him there when he's playing like this. Game 2, good game, 28 points, 8 for 19. Game 3, 26, 9 for 23. Game 5, 23, 8 for 23. Shooting splits just aren't too good. And there'll be times where he just goes ice cold for a little bit. Doesn't show up. And that's a big problem. Game 5, he had 27, 10 for 20. Good shooting split, right? 50% shooting. Really, really good. But still, obviously, lost that game. Couldn't take advantage of Curry having his one sole bad game that you knew that you might not even get, but when they got it, they still lost. And then game 6, he gave up. Flat out, Jason Tatum gave up. 13 points, 6 for 18, 1 for 4. You can see it in the turnovers. Tatum has the most turnovers in playoff history for one playoff. The most. He just needs to figure it out. And it's going to come, the consistency is going to come with effort, and it's going to come with just maturity. And Tatum has overachieved for his young career, for sure. And if he won the championship, man, we'd definitely be looking at this with a different lens. But he's definitely overachieved, for sure. He just needs to clean up the inconsistencies. And that's why he just needs to get back in the gym. He needs to start looking for his teammates more. Go to Jaylen Brown. For as young as he is, he's figured out his consistency. Jaylen is one of the guys that is showing effort all the time, and you can see it in his play. He's a hungry player. He shows consistency no matter what. And that's something that's always irked me about Tatum. You can see Tatum's the more naturally gifted player, for sure. And that's why everybody views him as the leader of the team. But he doesn't have what Brown has yet. And what Brown has is that ultimate consistency. You can rely on him every single game. Tatum doesn't have the consistency yet. Flat out. Doesn't have the consistency. But once he gets that consistency, once he can keep playing, keep those natural gifts that he has and put them out at a consistent rate, that's when the Celtics will be able to win a championship. Could it be next year? Of course it can. Because they made it to the NBA Finals this year, for sure. Will they make it back next year? I'm not going to doubt it. I think they can. They definitely need to improve the reserves, and they're young as well. They'll get more mature. The team, what it lacks is maturity, and and they also lack consistency. What comes with maturity? Consistency, hustle, and just an ultimate, a hunger to win. To not give up when things look like they're unwinnable. And that's something Tatum needs to get eventually.